Hello everyone, welcome to Community Distance Reiki. Danielle here. I'm so happy to have you here with me this evening. If you are new here, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're watching on the replay, you're going to have just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. If you would like to join me live, all the regular days and times that I stream are listed below in the description. I'm here 5 times a week, live streamed on YouTube. You can also go ahead and subscribe with your notifications on so you don't miss an opportunity to join us. If you would like to learn more about my live online Reiki certification courses, community, Discord, social media, or crystal shop, go ahead and check that description as well. If you are here live, go ahead and click that live chat button. Feel free to introduce yourself and set any intentions for your healing today. We're going to start things off by building a beautiful crystal grid to support the requests of everyone who is here. After about 45 minutes to an hour of building that grid together, I'm going to turn the music up, turn the lights down, and send healing to you whenever and wherever you happen to be. If you're watching this on the replay and you want to skip ahead to the healing, go to the 45-minute to 1 hour point, and or when you see the lights begin to shift downward, and you can just go ahead and enjoy the music and the healing. For those of you who are here live, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and start building that grid. Let's say hi to everybody. I've put a couple crystals out, and I want to add a couple more. And yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive in. So many people popping in already. Good to see you all. Okay, great. So what do we have here? Whoop. Something's a little bit in the field of the camera. The cats were up on the desk again, as you can see. So let's go ahead and just adjust things a bit. There we go. Fantastic. So let's see, who all do we have here with us today? I saw Grace. Good to see you. Korakar, welcome in. Yeah, Grace, Korakar, welcome in. Anybody who's hanging out, feel free to just hang out in the background or pop in at any point in time. We are a really friendly crew. Grace, it's good to see you too. You can absolutely have some selenite and some shungite and jet as well. Let me grab some of those. And you can request specific stones or just the healing intentions that you have, and I'll pick them for you, whichever feels better for you. To be guided into your future career, pain in your wrist, and peace. Good stuff, good stuff. Susan, Greg, good to see you both. I hope you're doing well today. Let's see. Okay, so let's bring in some selenite and some shungite. Selenite is also the cat's favorite stone, so it runs around the room a little bit. Luckily, I have plenty, though. So, selenite reflects nothing but pure white light. So I actually use it often to even clear the energy of stones and crystals. You can clear the energy of anything that you have, anything that you own, purchase, bring in the home, anything that just feels a little off or that you have around you a lot. You can just place it on the selenite for a few hours or overnight, and it does a great job of clearing the energy. But because it reflects nothing but pure white light, it can be very, very purifying. For those of you who may practice energy healing, you can also sort of comb your auric field with it. It does a great job of clearing your energy as well. So let's bring that in. For now, we will put this here, but we'll see where it ends up. Shungite is also fantastic for clearing energy. It tends to absorb energy that really isn't great for you. It also does that physically as well. It's used in a lot of water filters, actually. So this is shungite. It helps quite a bit with shielding our energy, purifying the field, as well as helping us ground and clear if we tend to be very, very sensitive to electromagnetic fields. If you're one of those somewhat rare people who, when you are around a lot of electronic equipment, you feel just sort of off-put or nauseous or tired, this can really help. This is also thought to help physical recovery, tissue repair. So if you're getting better from surgery or an injury, this can be very helpful. It also helps relieve stress, helps relieve emotional pain, and helps to break up some energy blockages. I don't know if you can hear my cats singing the song of their people in the background, but I sure can. I also have a few crystals out here that I've already picked for you all. I've got Jade, which is a wonderful good fortune blessing on every conceivable level, from finances to relationships to family to community, career, all of these things. We've got Copper, which helps to break up energy blockages and get the flow going. We've got Peridot, which helps to break up cycles and patterns, like when we keep perpetuating the same things over and over again. It helps us break those cycles. It also helps us to establish new and reestablish old friendships that can support the parts of us that are evolving, the sort of unpatterned version of ourselves. It's also really great for things like fidelity, prosperity. It's thought to be supportive of things like depression, and it's even in some circles used for support around IBS and digestive issues. Moss agate is a very spiritual stone. This helps with connection with nature, which can be great for anyone struggling in the winter in the Northern Hemisphere with not being connected to nature, not being outside for very long. It's also really helpful for any kind of illness, infection, regardless of if it's viral, bacterial, fungal, anything that in Chinese medicine they would refer to as having wind, or meaning that it's spreading quickly throughout the body. This is thought to kind of cancel that out. So if you are struggling with any kind of illness, which so many of us are, this can be really helpful. And on a spiritual level too, helps with inner child work, connecting with your higher self, and even unconditional love. So we've got that. And last but not least, certainly not least, is citrine, which helps us to manifest some financial abundance. I mean, who can't use that, ever, but especially now. It also helps to balance logic and intuition. Cool. So thank you all for being here. See who else popped in. Hey, Vincent, good to see you. Key, is that you or Patty or both? I hope you all are well, whoever's here. Body scanning, sending healing. Awesome. Oh, cool. You're learning body scanning. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, you and Vincent passed your tests. I'm so glad. Oh, this is wonderful. Good news. Let's keep the good news coming. Jet, as requested. Jet helps us when we're moving through any kind of grief. This is actually fossilized wood, or a type of fossilized wood. It's been fossilized through like intense and sudden heat, usually a volcano. So this went from being a living tree to stone throughout that very, very quick and volatile transition. This is one that helps us to be with grief and that, sudden earth-shattering change without being numb to what we're going through and without sort of being overwhelmed, so overwhelmed that we can't process anything. So it allows us to sit with our grief and give ourselves some time and space to begin to process what's going on. It's also thought to call back any lost pets or animals. So we will put that in there too. Okay. And thank you for those requests. Future career, wrist pain, and peace for sure. I've got one for that. Let's see, wrist pain and peace. Mahogany obsidian is thought to help carpal tunnel. And this is one that can be really helpful. It also brings vitality and strength, allows us to let go of perfectionism, of feeling like we need to be validated by having our work and efforts approved of, and also by just in general releasing anger and anxiety around not being good enough, not being perfect enough. So if you feel like you can't do the thing, or you can't finish or complete something because it's not quite perfect enough yet, this may really be helpful for you. It's also good for meeting goals. There we go. Snowflake Obsidian can help with peace, and it can also help with leaving behind what no longer serves. This is one that helps us to let go of guilt by processing the patterns that we keep repeating so that we can actually make a change in our behavior. It's also one that helps to calm overstimulation. It helps to connect the mind and the body, general peace and well-being, so that we can be present in the changes that we're making as we evolve. Also great for hope after loss and even clairaudience, which is intuitive hearing. But it can definitely help us with that, what's known as shadow work. And shadow work is it's healing the parts of ourselves that are a little bit deeper, the parts of ourselves that we would be less proud of. So yeah, but that's the biggest part of healing, is healing that part of us that we don't really see quite so much. So we'll bring that into, and as far as joints and things, let's bring in some howlite. This is joints, dislocations, bones, osteoporosis, osteopenia, which is something I struggle with, as well as just calcium absorption, again, something I deal with. This is a wonderful stone for bones and joints, but also on a spiritual level. It can be incredibly helpful for anger and resentment. Anger being the aggressive side of like wanting to act out, resentment being the more passive, internalized side, the kind of seething side of anger. This is one that helps us to look at what's causing that anger and that frustration, and allows us to make the changes we need to make so that we're not, but without being so triggered by the anger that we become explosive and destructive. It allows us to sort of hone that volatile energy and put it into the right places so we can make the changes that need to happen, rather than simply be explosive for explosive's sake. If you tend to get angry and then blow up and take it out on the wrong people or yourself, this might be a helpful stone for you. But yeah, bones and joints too. It's also thought of with teeth, bones, hair, all those things. So that is white howlite. I hope that helps, Grace, and I'm glad to see you. Oh, you're leaving grad school. Nothing bad. Passed with an A. Lots of support and love to you. We love you here. You're always welcome here. I hope it's a good choice for you and supports everything that's right for you. But definitely, I'll keep you in mind for the career purpose and soul's purpose for sure. Patty, gotcha. Highland Love, good to see you. Chris, wonderful to see you as well. Okay, let's pick some of the ones here. Good stuff. Yes, blessed Friday, everyone. So we've got support for Greg and Susan, absolutely. Spiritual courage, focus, and channeling. Return of Cat and zest for life. And your stepfather's colon cancer, absolutely. So let's go ahead and do focus and channeling. We'll do some sapphire. This is a stone that can be very potent when it comes to channeling, mediumship, opening up that connection. It's also great for sort of transcribing what we get. Sometimes when we're doing intuitive work or spiritual work, we're looking to get a message for someone else. This allows us to best sort of translate that. Can be a little ungrounding if you're not used to working with that kind of energy though. But yeah, that's sapphire, so that definitely helps there. I feel like the next one I want to bring in is Chevron Amethyst. Chevron Amethyst can help with channeling, mediumship, visionary journeying, all that kind of stuff. It's also helpful for tolerance of others. And in general, anytime that we're asking the universe for anything, manifesting anything along those lines, anytime that we're saying, okay, universe, this is what I want and need, and then want to also hear the universe in dialogue, giving us guidance around that, chevron amethyst is absolutely the stone. So we'll put that here. I hope that that helps. For Patty for Zest for Life, we've got some emerald. This can restore passion for work, home life, relationships, all of the above. It's also excellent for healing skin and tissue for anyone who might be recovering from surgery or an injury. It can also restore confidence if you're lacking confidence about your appearance, especially if you were ever treated poorly or bullied about something like that. Also helps to call in a little bit of success. So yeah, that is raw emerald. Put that right by the blue sapphire. And we have for your stepfather, rutilated quartz is often thought to be a beautiful gift for someone who is struggling with cancer. The rutils, this is basically clear quartz with rutils, or these gold or silver sort of streaks that run through it. It's thought that this helps to take the healing energy, whatever healing method you're using, and direct it exactly where it most is needed in the body. It's also thought to help provide a lot of physical energy if you're trying to get better from being sick or trying to avoid being sick or are run down, like from treatments or anything. This can be very, very helpful. It's also great for balancing the mind and body and bringing in focus. Let's see. I hope that that helps, and lots of love to your stepfather and to you. Support for your mother, health and prosperity. I'm going to bring in some pyrite. We definitely have some citrine here for bringing in abundance and manifesting. Pyrite helps with intuition and protection, but it also calls in financial abundance. It's like the false gold brings the real gold. It's also thought to be really helpful in support of the memory. So we'll bring that in support of your mom. Lots of love to you and your family. I'm so glad to have you here. Hope you're doing well. And I'm so glad you both passed your test. That's such wonderful news to hear. Hey, Bloom Bella Glow. Great to see you. Happy Friday to you too. Let's see. Want to make sure I don't miss anyone. Okay, aquamarine for key. We're also going to do revelations of goodness. I love that. Attract abundance and money. Yeah, citrine for sure. Pyrite for sure. We're going to bring in some aquamarine. This is a good one for forgiveness, whether you're forgiving out of, I want to open my heart and offer you another chance, or you're forgiving someone to set yourself free, whichever of the two or both, whatever that shows up as to you. This is also great for fluids in the body. It's aquamarine after all, but it's also thought to help with deflecting pettiness and sort of low vibe, childish, nonsense type behavior. I often like to think of it as the anti-Karen stone, not one particular Karen, the proverbial Karen. But yeah, it's thought to help with may justice prevail is one way that this stone is often like summarized. But this helps to calm the always aggrieved or people who are trying to play devil's advocate in a way where you're really just advocating for the devil. Who here needs to hear a philosophical, side to something? Like, there's real people here kind of thing. This grounds that sort of childishness and nonsense so that we can focus on what needs to get done and move on. It helps with finding better outlets for the emotions. It's a water stone after all. So we'll bring in aquamarine. Lots of love to Key. Hope Key has a good day at work. And so we will do, let's see. Let's put that here and here. Revelations of goodness. I like that. I'm going to come back to that. Preemptive both. You're getting the hang of it all. Intentions for healing for your landlord who just had surgery for cancer. And for the repair person who has surgery for cancer coming up soon. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Definitely. Spinal stenosis, metabolism, Kundalini awakening, iolite related, Herkimer, aqua aura. Iolite, Herkimer, aragonite, blue kyanite, rose quartz, carnelian. Rose quartz, with its super powerful vibration of unconditional love, can help make it easier for us to let go of any lower vibe energy, and with calling on letting go of cycles and patterns that no longer serve. This helps us to more easily let go as we're basically creating space for something else to come in. When we've been through something or we have sort of a cycle or a pattern that's holding us back, it's hard to let it go because we're worried that what else will come in if we let our guard down. This is one that reminds us that something better can come along. It's very consistent in its loving energy. So let's bring this in. Actually, I'm gonna put the shungite outside. Go. Herkimer works really well alongside chevron amethyst. This helps us to be in the present moment. And in that regard, it can be very, very helpful for manifesting. This is a stone that, when it comes to manifesting, it helps us to send what we're asking for up to the universe and to be open to guidance around it, just like chevron amethyst, but in a slightly different way. This also helps us to be present in who we are, where we are, what's going on in this moment, which is always so important anytime we're doing any kind of manifesting work. Where am I? What do I have? Not just looking forward to the next thing we want, but being able to be present, be grateful, and also be grateful to anyone that is impacted by what we're asking for. This also helps with balancing metabolism, bringing in intuition and connection to psychic ability. So that's Herkimer diamond. It's a natural double terminated point whereas the chevron amethyst are man-made double terminated. Double terminated meaning 2 points. Natural double terminated, it formed that way. Okay. Iolite helps with being connected to spirit and spiritual guidance. It also helps us to sleep better, especially if we find it difficult to ground around bedtime. It's helpful for things like money management and even weight loss if that's your intention. So we will bring this in and put it right near the jet. Amazonite helps with the spine and spinal nerves, also supportive of anyone who is a caregiver. Helps to remind our caregivers that they're just as important and just as worthy of and just as in need of that tender loving care that they show others. Very calming. And like I said, the spine and spinal nerves, so spinal stenosis to sciatica to everything in between. I have nerve issues in my lower body. This is one that I work with to help call upon help for that. So that's Amazonite. Amazonite can come in this sort of lighter blue, like this lighter blue-green in a way. There's also a darker blue-green with white stripes, so it can look somewhat different depending on the specimen you get. Belinda, welcome in. Good to see you. Oh, okay. Key will be here for the 8 p.m. session. Oh, they'll have to view the 8 p.m. session afterward. Gotcha. Okay. Carnelian, 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 please. Absolutely, you got it. A crystal for helping travel? Absolutely. There are 2. There's a couple. There's more than 2, but labradorite helps with having joy in your travel. And moonstone as well as tourmalinated quartz can be wonderful for being protective of people who are traveling. And I feel like the tourmalinated quartz, we may end up with both. So let's go ahead and bring in some tourmalinated quartz. These are all good examples. So we talked about rutilated quartz, which is clear quartz with rutils running through it. This is actually streaks of black tourmaline, which is excellent for repelling less than wonderful energy. Going through clear quartz like this actually helps go deep into our spirit body and kind of break up these things that are stuck, whether it's stuck energy or even more than that. It's thought to help break up scar tissue on the body, in the body, and emotional scar tissue as well. It's one that's usually recommended for cardiac health, especially if people are thought to have a blockage. Of course, no crystals are meant to replace anything. Do all the things that work. Go get your health care, and also, like, while you're in the waiting room, stream some of this. Let's do all the things. But yeah, this is thought to help break that up. Like I said, it's thought to be very, very protective of travelers as well. It's also thought to bring out fortune and good luck. So in that regard, I feel like this could really help Patty for the request of unearthing kind of goodness and good surprises. It's great for emotional trauma, breaking up patterns, especially patterns from early childhood, like before we're able to consciously remember them. Grounds nervous energy, and also thought to help with finding new means of earning income, so it can be helpful for people like Grace. But also, whether it's you're looking for passive income or you're looking for maybe a new job or a new career, this can be really helpful. So we'll bring some of this in. Let's go ahead and do let's do this one and this one. So safe travels for sure. I'm also going to bring in that labradorite. Having joy in travel. It aids in clairvoyance, which is intuitive vision. Also helps with detailed attention to things and finding errors. So if you're working with a lot of information and you need to focus on all the minute detail, like think of things like coding, this is perfect for that. If you are going through your finances or you're doing your bookworks and you're like, something seems off and I need to go through every line with detail, excellent stone. It's also great for workplace harmony and research and study because it does bring attention to those tiny details that matter. Very helpful for finding joy in that travel. And I hope that you do have fun, whether you're traveling for work or for pleasure, that you do find some pleasure while you're there. Let's do that. Aqua Aura is thought to be very supportive of things like depression. Peridot as well for that. This is one that I've been using to support myself through that. It is a stone that has been processed through man-made means. So this is clear quartz that's been processed using gold, which is given it this sort of bluish color. And yeah, thought to help depression, seasonal affective disorder. Of course, like I said, not a replacement for anything, but hey, hang out, do what you need to do and hang out and watch a stream and get some beautiful crystal energy too. But I've really started to like these stones, even though they are altered. And that's sort of a hot button issue in the healing world but they're not natural. They've been altered. And I get that. And that's how I felt about them at first myself. And I started working with them and I'm like, you know what? This helps. And I actually did a little more research recently. I discovered that the Egyptians often made replicas of stones that were difficult for them to get that they would work with instead of the actual stones. And I'm like, well, if it's good enough for them, I get it. So yeah, enjoy it. I've also got for us Carnelian, as a few of you have requested, and I think it's always a perfect stone to bring in. Carnelian helps with relationships in all levels, not just romantic. It's very, very helpful for the sacral chakra, how we relate to the people and the world and the community around us. It's also helpful for bringing in balance when it comes to sexuality, sexual dysfunction, calling in a partner or a mate. This is one that can help with things like fertility. It's a very common stone as a gift for people going through fertility, as well as helping cold and allergies and things like that. Yeah, the sacral chakra also has a lot to do with creativity. So if you felt like you could use a little bit more of a creative outlet, this is another great stone to work with. And welcome back. Good to see you. Aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite helps to balance the brown in here is the aragonite. That's a calcite that is formed actually from old mollusks and works with our root and earth star chakra. Our earth star chakra is where we enact our soul's purpose. We actually start acting in accordance with what we know we need to do. It's one thing to know it, it's another thing to do it. And that's the chakra that helps us feel like we can show up and do the things. The blue is the Caribbean blue calcite. That's connected more to the soul star. That energy center up at the top of the body, that's actually more connected to our vision of what our potential is. That's our kind of seeing, sensing, knowing, like our spiritual North Star in a sense. Having both of them reflected in this one specimen allows both of those very opposite but clearly very related energy centers come into balance. That allows the energy centers between the two to come into better balance, allowing for the Kundalini energy at the base of the spine to flow a lot more evenly and a lot more easily. So aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite. If you do shop for this stone, you will see some specimens that don't look quite so translucent. So just sort of know that there's a lot of variance in what it can look like. Sometimes it looks more like Amazonite with hints of brown. Okay, there we go. Blue kyanite helps us to better understand the intuitive guidance that we get. Also allows us to take a strong sense of spiritual pride in ourselves. That's pride in who we fundamentally are, not like pride in our accomplishments, but pride in like, I am truly a beautiful and loving and lovable human being. This can be very helpful if you struggle with that. And again, this is blue kyanite. It's also thought to be helpful for anyone who's had brain injury or stroke, especially if it's connected to mobility or speech. So blue kyanite here. Let's see where we shall place this. Let's put this here. There we go. Let's see what else we have. I know we have plenty more. Rose quartz we have. Carnelian, aragonite, blue kyanite, Herkimer aqua aura, hematite. Hematite helps us with grounding and helps us with letting energy go, especially out of the feet. So especially if you get energy work and you're like, oh, I feel almost like a little nauseous and ungrounded and like I can't focus on anything and like I want to eat but I can't think about what I'm going to eat. That can be a little bit ungrounded. That just means that you need to let some energy go. And this is one of the many stones that can help you do that. Hematite has a high iron content, which makes it very physically heavy. And if you were to crack these open, you would see that there's a lot of like red inclusions, which is why it's often called hematite. Hema, red, and the blood. Yeah, it's thought to help take the energy that we're letting go of, connect it with the earth. Helps us to ground quite a bit. So let's go ahead and bring this around. And let's see what else. We have chevron amethyst, red tiger eye, lapis. We have mahogany. Red tiger eye, lapis. We have emerald, amazonite, garnet, fire quartz, and malachite. Absolutely. I am going to go ahead and put in some black tourmaline. Black tourmaline can be really helpful for keeping negative energy at bay, like we had mentioned earlier. I love it for that. So yeah, this is what we have going through tourmalinated quartz. This is sort of it works the opposite of shungite, where shungite absorbs the negativity so that you don't take it on. This kind of pushes and repels less than great energy. So this can be great if you're somebody who's really empathic, really sensitive to the energy of others, who you step into a place and it doesn't have a good vibe and then you have a hard time shaking that vibe. This is a great stone to have on you. It's very affordable. So you can find jewelry made of it on Etsy. You can buy stones of it very affordably. We have it on our crystal shop. You can see it linked in the description below. It's learnreikiphiladelphia.com. But yeah, this is an easy stone to work with if you're someone who's sensitive, or to keep around children who are sensitive to that. We also have some garnet. This is another one that helps with creativity, but particularly creativity in how you go about getting things done. Garnet is very much like an executive function stone. It helps with organization, finding the most efficient way to do the things that need to happen, being practical, finding balance, and strength in times of change. It's a very root chakra focused stone. So this is one that helps with issues around fear, safety, stability, security. But yeah, courage, finding new ways forward, finding the best way forward, not simply looking at things as, well, this is the way it's always been done. If you're looking for taking some new steps in a good direction that will last, even in a time of tumult, this is a good stone. So this is garnet. And unakite can be helpful for quitting smoking, as well as anything having to do with women's health. Whether it is menopause, onset of menses, fertility, hormonal anything, unakite is it. This is one that helps us to find that balance and support. It's especially good for prenatal, postnatal, and during labor and delivery. It's even thought to help with having a beautiful, warm marriage. It's often been considered as like a beautiful gift for someone who is getting married for that purpose. Also is thought to help with circulation, body fluids, and metabolism, especially where they're connected to hormones. So this is unakite. Red tiger eye is highly protective, and highly protective in a lot of different ways. It can be protective in the mundane sense, whether it's people bullying, picking on, causing problems, triangulating, like whether it's small or big, all the way up to really nasty, malevolent, like spiritual or spell workings. Red tiger eye can be very, very helpful. It's golden tiger eye that formed in the earth closer to iron, giving it this reddish color. But yeah, it's also thought to be really helpful for calling on quick financial support. So if you need quick money, you need to feel safe and protected, you need to be safe and protected, you feel like you've got a little touch of the evil eye coming at you, red tiger eye is very helpful. Lapis is a stone of integrity, honesty, openness, good communication. It's what we want everybody we work with, all of our colleagues, to embody. It's what we long to be when we are in our integrity. Deep communication. This is also career improvement, finding good colleagues, helping with personal accountability as well. The ability to say, ooh, I'm behind in this, or I dropped the ball on that, and I'm owning that, and I'm sorry. This is a stone that really helps with that. It also helps with disorganization, and it is one that many folks use for things like vertigo, hearing loss, anything with the ears or inner ear. This is thought to be helpful. So that's Lapis Lazuli. Lapis is so pretty. Let's see that I didn't miss anything. Malachite, absolutely, and fire quartz. I love fire quartz. Let's do both. Now, there's a lot of, especially lately, there's a lot of misinformation about certain stones online. And one is that, one piece that I see repeated often is that, oh, malachite, it's toxic. Now, there are toxic stones. We've done a lot here. Cinnabar is mercury. There's stones that have lead. There's stones that have arsenic. There's lots of different things that can be in your stones. This is thought to be toxic because it has copper in it. That doesn't make it toxic. Copper in large amounts is not healthy for the human body. Copper in the amounts that we usually get are good. It's something our body actually needs. But like everything, the dose makes the difference. It's the size. It's how much of it you have. You can drink enough water to pass away, and more often than not, people don't have enough, and that leads to a passing away. So yeah, is it toxic? No. Can you hold it? Absolutely. I mean, you can hold copper too. Should you put it in your water and drink it? No, you shouldn't do that with any stones, but it's definitely not physically toxic, especially to touch it like this. It does have copper in it for sure. It's actually mined very close to copper, as is chrysocolla and azurite, for example. They all are very close, and sometimes they actually show up in the same specimens. But this particularly, as a stone, the energetic connection and the energetic auspices of this stone, this is making the emotional changes we need. Anytime that we need to let go and maybe close a door or close a chapter and move forward, it can be bittersweet. This is the stone that can really help you to emotionally move through that shift, that letting go of things that no longer serve, especially if it's connected to people that you need to move on from. Not only people, but definitely that's included. So if you have something along those lines going on in your life and you're kind of having a hard time putting your finger on it, and all of a sudden you feel really called to malachite, that might be what's going on. But yeah, malachite is a very popular and very potent healing stone, and it's beautiful. There's a lot of false malachite on the market because it is a more expensive stone, because it is mined near copper. But it is absolutely superb. And remember, if there is a stone that you want to work with and you either can't get it, don't have it nearby, don't happen to have it on you today, if it's out of your price range, that's totally okay. Use clear quartz in its place and just ask that it embody all of the qualities of the stone that you would have liked to work with. And that will suffice. It'll do a great stand-in for you. So let's see what else. Okay, so that's malachite. Let's do the fire quartz. So fire quartz is clear quartz that was formed in the ground close to iron, close enough to iron where it actually picked up some of that reddish tint. And I'll show you what I mean. You can see a little bit of it here. Might be able to see a little more of it in this specimen. You can see those sort of like peachy colors. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. You can see a little bit of it there. But yeah, it's sometimes fire quartz is bright red. A lot of times the bright red quartz that you see, it's something different, but you can actually see a little bit of the iron when I get a little closer to the bottom edge here. This is thought to help bring vitality and energy into a particular scenario or situation. It awakens and enlivens the root chakra. It energizes us and it helps us to feel like we can overcome some things and get things done. Some folks feel that this can be really helpful with overcoming fears, that like when fear is an obstacle to taking action. But in general use, most folks feel that it just sort of like brings in that yang energy that makes you want to go forward and get the physical actions done. I feel like it could help in both ways. I'm lucky enough to have a few pieces. I'm going to go ahead and bring this in here. But yeah, that's fire quartz. Let's go ahead and let's do that thing where I pick a couple of stones and all of you can go ahead and vote between them. I'm going to pick a couple of stones. I'm going to take a moment and see what stones might really just sort of set off all of the intentions that you all brought to the table today and harmonize with all of this energy. If you have any other requests, we definitely still have a few minutes, so feel free to shout them out in the comments section and I will add them. If I missed your request at this point, feel free to request it again And yeah, just give me one moment. What I think could be helpful. We're already voting. Yeah. For those of you who've not been here before, when it comes to voting, you're not limited to just one vote. Hint, hint. I'm going to start with the first one. This one actually jumped out at me before I even started setting up the grid. And that's Lemurian quartz. Specifically one that was gifted by Cora Carr and Vincent. Thank you, both of you. This is Blue Mist Lemurian quartz. This has a lot to do with healing the past, releasing past emotional pain, learning the lessons of the past so we don't have to learn them again and again and repeat lessons of old. It helps with learning and embracing our self-healing journey, especially when it's a really difficult thing. And also learning about ourselves, being able to look in the mirror and see ourselves for who we really are, so we can decide what changes we want to make, but also with compassion and letting go. Aw, thank you, Highland Love. Can I repeat which one is for traveling? Yes, tourmalinated quartz. Tourmalinated quartz helps with protection during travel. And I also put in some labradorite because this helps with joy during travel. So I put in one of each. So we have Lemurian quartz. And what else should we bring in? I'm going to say, to support the Lemurian quartz. Nope, doesn't want to be that one. I think it's going to be Indigo Gabbro. Indigo Gabbro helps with shadow healing in that it allows us to see the ways in which we get in our own way. It allows us to see our, I like to say, detrimental tendencies. The ways in which we undermine ourselves, the ways in which we behave that we kind of don't see, that we would like to correct, or we would do best to correct. So yeah, if we're letting go of the past, learning the lessons and not having to repeat it, learning these spiritual past life healings, seeing these patterns that may be multi-lifetime, and also even healing from patterns, things that have come from childhood. This can be a particularly helpful stone. This helps us see those behaviors so that we can change them. So yeah. So Indigo Gabbro, Lemurian quartz, or both, just putting that out there. Good to see you, Samantha. Surgery, oh, you want surgery to go well, to get your period on Monday, and healing in the relationship, current housing situations to be more harmonious. Current housing situation to be more harmonious, balancing discordant energy and harmonizing relationships, Carnelian, as well as Herkimer diamond. that will help there. Period stuff and cycles, we have Unikite. And I'm also going to go ahead and add for you some pink tourmaline. This has a lot to do with hormones and cycles, GYN issues, and period issues particularly. Again, that's pink tourmaline. This is also great for spine injuries, which we have someone who could use that support as well. Dispelling negative feelings on your body, too. If you have any self-image issues, this can be a really helpful stone. Also thought to be helpful with migraine and neuralgia. So we'll bring this in. And yeah, all the best to you. Indigo Gabbro. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do the thing where I quickly explain a little bit about what Reiki is, a little bit of how it works in case you're new. For those of you who are here, if you are going to be voting on which crystal you would like, if you could go ahead and click that like button, that would super help. I'm just looking for the light control. There we go. And yeah, so I will be right back. So as I mentioned at the top of the stream, my name is Danielle Stimpson. I'm the owner of Learn Reiki Philadelphia. I'm so glad to have you here with me today. If you want to learn more about my live online Reiki certification courses, community Discord, social media, or crystal shop, all of it's linked in the description below. I'm here 5 days a week doing my regular healing live stream. Everyone is welcome. And if you need some healing when I'm not live, you can always check out the playlist that includes all of the past streams. And if you subscribe with notifications on, you'll know when I'm live so that you won't miss a beat. So what is Reiki? Well, the style of Reiki that I work with is known as Usui Reiki, which is named after this particular tradition's founder, Mikao Usui, and he founded this method in early 1920s Japan. This particular method, the roots and elements of it are found in Shintoism, including the very understanding of what energy is. Shintoism is the indigenous spirituality of Japan, in which everything has a soul and everything is interconnected. In this interconnectedness, there are other forces at play as well. One of those being the spiritually guided life or soul energy. And that's roughly what Reiki translates to. So the practice that Usui created around using this energy is one practice of many. There's newer practices and far more ancient practices. Usui's method was a secular approach to this deeply spiritual healing art. At the time that he was teaching this and created this system in Japan, he was a Tendai Buddhist monk, but you were not allowed to teach religion in Japan at that time. It was during the rise of imperialism. So this is a method that really resonates with us in the West for a lot of reasons, but I think his particular approach and style is because it doesn't require any one worldview at how the energy moves, where it comes from, or what's in charge, if anything. So essentially, this particular energy is just helpful on all levels. Our body, mind, and spirit are already working with this energy all the time and know exactly how to use it. Essentially, what I'll be doing today is connecting with this energy and directing more of it to you, allowing your body, mind, and spirit to use it even more. You may find that this balance comes around on the physical level. You may feel some physical sensations. You may notice some emotional shifts, either emotions being released or coming up for you. You may have some mental awareness. You may get a really beautiful place to think some things through. You may just be able to hear your subconscious. And you also may have a little bit more of a spiritual connection, which might be intuition or just sort of beautiful ideas seemingly out of the blue. You may also just feel really sleepy, ready to take a great nap. More than likely, you're going to have some combination of all of the above. As I connect to this energy and send this healing to all of you, wherever and whenever you happen to be, it actually doesn't matter where you are in relation to me in terms of miles, kilometers, because we are all interconnected, as the energy understanding would suggest. This also applies in terms of when you are. So if you are in the future watching this, hello from the past, I hope you have a beautiful session, and I know that you will. You can watch any of these healing sessions at any point in time, and as long as you're open to receiving the energy, you will absolutely receive it. So anytime that you would like to go ahead and get some healing and I'm not live, go ahead and check out the past live stream healings. Just pop it on the TV. You can zip ahead to the healing portion or enjoy all of the hanging out and chatting about crystals, whatever feels right to you that day, and simply relax as best you can wherever you happen to be and allow the Reiki to help support you. As you relax, your body, mind, and spirit, as I mentioned, automatically know what to do with this energy. You don't have to focus on anything. You don't have to keep your mind silent. You can simply exist. You can snore. If your mind runs away from you, that's also okay. But if you do notice just sort of a lot of sort of brain babble and chatting in your mind, go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. See if that doesn't kind of settle it down, but you don't have to focus on anything or keep your mind silent. At the end of the 25-minute session, you'll hear my voice come back in. I will invite you to take a deep breath in and out at your own pace, slowly come back to your body, and then at that time I'll reopen the chat and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have and hear out any particular experiences that you may have had. During the session, I will turn the lights down. You'll notice that they'll move slowly and evenly through many different colors. At no point will the lights flash or strobe, and I will lift the music up. If you like the music that we have, go ahead and check out that description in the all the way at the bottom. You'll notice the link to the musical creator's YouTube. You can enjoy her music anytime that you like. So thank you all so very much for being here with me today. It truly is an honor and a pleasure to share this healing with all of you wherever you happen to be. I've absolutely grown to love being on YouTube and so much more than I ever thought I could. And this community is just beautiful and ever growing. All of the support you show, not only me, but each other it's just absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. It's beautiful to have you all here. I will be back again tonight at 8 p.m. because Friday I'm here twice, and I will return on Sunday at 8 p.m. All of the regular days and times are listed below. Thanks again for being here, and let's go ahead and see what won that vote. And okay, cool. Like I said, the cats have been playing with the camera. There we go. Da 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 da. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh, both won. How did that happen? It always happens. So let's go ahead and bring some indigo gabbro in to the bottom. Let's take this Lemurian quartz and sprinkle it throughout. Help us learn our lessons, not have to repeat the same cycles over and over. Find peace from the cycles. So go ahead, get cozy, lay down, sit up. Lay down, sit up, stretch, whatever you need to do. And I will see you all in about 25 minutes. Enjoy your session, and thanks again for being here. invite you now to take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Slowly allow yourself to come back. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or anything to share, go ahead and shout it out in the chat. I don't know about you, but I certainly feel better. Hey, W. You're so welcome. You're welcome, Vincent. Thank you, Patty. All the same to you. Lots of love and unconditional support to you and to Key. So Key, when you're watching this, lots of love. You're welcome, Susan, Greg, Grace, Belinda. So wonderful to have you all here. Oh, thank you. Lots of love to all of you too. Yeah, the energy is very intense today. Remember to take care of yourself. Remember, rest is part of progress too. If you could like this stream as you head out and enjoy the rest of your day, that would really help. But honestly, simply being here means so much, and I'm so grateful that you were. I'll be back at 8 p.m. this evening, East Coast US time, and Sunday, 8 p.m. East Coast US time. Oh, it's definitely feeling that fire quartz. That was a beautiful request, and thank you for having made it. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this stream to a close with an abundance of gratitude, and I will see so many of you again very soon. Please do remember to take care of yourselves, and yeah, have a beautiful rest of your day, and bye for now.